has worked as the manager of the Bike Shack, co-chair of the student union, a 4-time orientation leader, the host of Naropa Mike, and the host of her own club, Bike Mechanics as Fun Empowerment. Off campus, she also works on regenerative agriculture, writing projects, and permaculture design through her job as a private gardener. Our students rock. Would you just say it? Let me just welcome her.
I emailed Travis Cox, my beloved sustainability professor, before finalizing this speech to check in about how much he would be addressing climate change and the grave urgency surrounding it. And after reading a draft of his speech, I felt he had it pretty well covered and decided to take mine in a different direction. You see, I'm a huge fan of whole systems thinking. And in this realm of environmental analysis, we have these things called leverage points. They are, as Donella Meadows writes, places within a complex system where a small shift in one thing can produce big changes in everything. And since Naropa's specialty is helping students transform themselves and then the world, I've decided to tell you a story today about 3 leverage points in my contemplative education that have been sustainable points of power for me to almost effortlessly change the way that I think, act, and go about the world. Let's begin with leverage point 1. In my art therapy class with Leah Friedman some years ago, we were invited into the experiential of creating ourselves as a doll. Up until this point at Naropa, I was buying tie-dye shirts, wearing long patterned skirts and shawls, and saying the words radical, potent, prajna, and meditation far too much. When faced with the challenge or opportunity of creating myself as a doll, I just had to decide whether to go with the Naropa-fied Fern, who I thought most people wanted to see, or the rural Iowan still confused about public transportation Fern. I picked up some denim fabric, green yarn, and a bottle cap, and fashioned myself a tiny farmer doll, complete with a sun hat, overalls, and green hair. I had green hair at the time. Some would say it was blue. It was green. This invitation to engage in the process of reflecting all of my beauty, power, flaws, overalls, and raccoon-like tendencies was the moment that I realized I could not Naropa-fy myself. Once my doll was finished, I looked up around the awkwardly high table in the classroom and watched everyone stare down at their tiny selves with such care. In that moment, I realized that you cannot leave yourself behind in your own healing. You must show up to the gates of your life with the willingness of a child to play, to create, and to love with absolute authenticity, however that means for you. If we all show up in our own authentically contemplative way, we will be so much stronger and more resilient for it. Moving out of the pattern of homogenizing and into a system that values biodiversity in all of its glorious forms is absolutely rebellious and very necessary in this day and age. The next leverage point came to me while listening to a permaculture designer, guest lecturer, and all-around hero of mine, Joel Glansberg, give a talk on syntropy and entropy. Joel talks about this idea of the crack being the next level, something that we must open ourselves to. In entropic systems, the crack symbolizes a break, a point that needs to be replaced, thrown out, or hidden. In syntropic systems, the crack is the next level. If a seed cracks open, a plant germinates, and if an egg cracks open, a chick hatches. I see Naropa as having a lot of cracks, which is to say a lot of opportunities for growth. Naropa plays a role in the larger society as a whole, and therefore it is not exempt from the problems we're seeing as systemically present nationwide, like cultural appropriation, rampant capitalism, systemic and institutional racism, and misogyny violently bypassed and coded in spiritual language. And yet, as I say this all, I'm extremely grateful, because I went to an institution equipped with every tool necessary to do this growing. Restorative justice, diverse hiring committees, decolonial voices, and engaged students are the way through the crack for Naropa. There is potential in even the most broken of situations. Can you imagine how dark it is for the dandelion root underneath the sidewalk, until finally a tree root cracks open the cement and the light pours through? We need you to be both the tree root and the dandelion. We as a planet and as a natural system are cracking. Naropa has taught us to grow where we can, so, my dandelion friends, go find the light and move into it and bloom. Ignore the people who call you a weed. You are so much more than that. You are opportunistic and absolutely delicious in a salad. The last leverage point came to me in the form of a single sentence out of Leah Friedman's mouth. An orange is a good thing to have around. She told us this as she smelled an orange peel during a rather difficult art therapy lecture. After all, oranges are already pre-grown to be shared. And here in Colorado, they come to us as gifts from the equator during the winter time. I tell you this moment as an invitation. In a world that is increasingly confused about the differences between pleasure and pain, choosing pleasure and self-care is activism. Take care of yourself where you can. Prioritize your pleasure in your present moment. And never underestimate how a piece of fruit can be both aromatherapy, a snack, and 1/3 of a college commencement speech at the same time. We all have our own leverage points. And as you go forth and leave this tiny campus, which is steeped in ritual and contemplative education and absolute magic, please remember to be open to these synchronistic moments that can change absolutely everything all at once. I am in awe of having you all watched, or having you all have watched, I'm gonna restart that sentence. I am in awe of having watched you all grow and mess up and apologize and love with such brazen assurance. I have always said that the people make the place. You, fellow graduates, have made the place and my student debt absolutely worth it. Thank you.